All right, everybody, welcome to Shot of Sports. We got another edition of Shot of Sports. We got DC, we got Billy. Donovan said he would try to be on a little later if he can make it. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Doing fantastic. Game one of the World Series is today. Let's go. Let's have a day, boys.
So that's our first topic. We're going to jump right into it. MLB World Series Game 1 tonight, 8:03 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. We got Phillies, we got Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston. Aaron Nola's tossing for the Phillies, and we have update that Justin Verlander will be going Game 1. So that's, I actually like that matchup, because Frankie Valdez would match up better against Wheeler, because let's just simply say that Frankie Valdez has been 10 times better in the postseason so far than Verlander has. So if the Astros win Game 1, they know they can have a reliable starter coming on with Valdez. Then we got some more news in there saying that it's only going to get a little more tougher for the Phillies bats because the Astros are now adding Will Smith to the roster. Left-handed pitcher Will Smith to the roster. So they're adding another high-quality bullpen guy for the World Series. It's going to be tough, but we're going to have a series.
It's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Most part.
Yeah. I think for this series – you got it.
I mean, if he was right-handed, he would have been a little bit more dangerous on that power. I'm just joking with that. But it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I think Phillies will take the first one, but at the same time, I say it's an interesting World Series because I feel like Dusty, he deserved this one, but at the same time, it's like I don't know, just like the matchups. So it's like pitching wise is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be very interesting. So, we'll see.
I think looking at it from like a grand scheme of things with both teams, you could clearly see both these teams know how important it is to win the first two games. Like the Astros know it's very key for them to win games 1 and 2 because you can't go into Philly with a tied series, or if the Phillies, God forbid, if the Phillies are up 2-0 going to Philly, that is bad. Because you can't let it happen. You're not winning 2 games in Philly. That is just not happening. Houston knows how important it is. And the Phillies know how important it is to also steal a game in Houston. That's why they're putting both of their top guys in there. Aaron Nola's been outstanding. He pitched great against Houston. We've talked about that before. Zach Wheeler's been having an outstanding postseason. But Justin Verlander, we know how good he is when he's on, but in past experiences in the World Series, Verlander's not had great showings in games in the World Series when he's played. Not saying he will today. I mean, I think, again, he's the Cy Young. I think this is the best season he's had in his career, even with the MVP year he's had a couple years ago. But it is very important because I'm going to tell you this right now as a Phillies fan. If they win a game in Houston Monday, I'm going to tell you I told you so. And if they win both games in Houston, I'm going to be unbearable. It's going to be bad for you guys because I'm just going to be feeling good. Because, again, like I said, I don't see Houston winning 2 games. It's going to be hard for them to win 1 game in Philly. I don't see them winning 2. I know New York and Seattle was like tough and hostile environments, but I don't think that you're going to experience a hostile environment than you will in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I get that, but we can't rule out that Houston is not that way either. I mean, they have one of the top 5 fan bases in postseason history as well. So it's rocking. It's going to be rocking at both stadiums. Let's just get that. Let's just get it. Let's just get that in there right now. It's going to be rocking at both stadiums. I mean, you in Houston, just go ask the Yankees how hard it was to hit in Houston. So that goes to show you right there. And the Yankees have a better.
Oh no, I'm not denying that.
No, yeah, the Yankees have 100%. Yankees probably have a slighter hitting lineup than the Phillies do, but from top to bottom, you have to say the Yankees are better.
I don't know if I agree with that because you take away Aaron Judge. We saw how bad Aaron Judge was this postseason. And when you
But
take away Aaron Judge from that Yankees lineup don't hit well. They don't. I mean, they're too inconsistent. I think from top to bottom, it's the Phillies. Phillies right now in this postseason hitting the home run ball better than any other team in baseball. I mean, you got Scherzer, Harper, and Hoskins all in the top 5 in home runs this postseason. They are hitting the ball out of the park, which is why I think they match up well with Houston because it's going to come down to the home run ball to me because both teams have great pitching from the starting standpoint. I think the Phillies, both teams match up well against righties too. I want to say that too. They hit the home run ball really well against righty pitchers, especially. We saw what the Phillies did to Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish. They weren't hitting all over the place, but they were able to hit the home run ball here and there. And the Phillies lineup as a whole usually struggles against when they play against a lefty. Astros are mainly a righty heavy pitching rotation. So them having Will Smith back is huge though, because again, like I said, lefties are not the Phillies' strong suit. And Will Smith's had really good games against the Phillies in the past when he was with Atlanta. But
okay, so overall, including regular season, you're taking the Phillies lineup over the Yankees.
Like I think from an overall perspective, from batters 1 to 9.
Yes, from spring training to postseason.
If we're talking overall this season, you probably got me. But I'm talking postseason, and I'm talking strictly from batters 1 to 9. I'm saying Aaron Judge is the best hitter out of everybody. There's no debate, right? I mean, he has
obviously, yeah,
one of the best statistical hitting seasons ever. You take Aaron Judge out of that lineup, it's a completely different lineup. And then if you want to go to the flip side for the Phillies, they didn't have Bryce Harper for 2 months, and he was still hitting the shit out of the baseball. So, to me, it's like the Phillies overall as a lineup are better than the Yankees. It's just the Yankees are so top heavy. Like for this postseason, Bryson Stott's been huge for the Phillies. Gene Segura is coming up with clutch hit after clutch hit. Brandon Marsh didn't have a good series against the Padres, but against the Braves, he was coming up clutch for the Phillies. You keep going, you keep looking down. If you want to go, the top of the lineup struggled earlier in the postseason, but against the Padres, they couldn't get Schwarber or Hoskins out. The only real guy who's been struggling this postseason for the most part has been Castellanos. But then you get that once in a while, Castellanos going 2 for 3. Or against Atlanta when he went 3 for 3 and he had that great catch in game 1. He will give you those games once in a while. Overall, the Phillies lineup from 1 to 9 has been more consistent than the Yankees. And I don't think there's a true easy out on the Phillies lineup compared to what the Yankees have.
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, yeah, you have a point there. But overall lineup base, they had Bader leading off, and then they have Keener Falefa and Matt Carpenter on the bench. Don't forget they also had Josh Donaldson, who wasn't the greatest in this postseason. I'm not gonna lie about it today. Like the Yankees postseason stats are terrible. I'm gonna just say that they were terrible this postseason. But if I'm talking about overall base, I'm gonna take the Yankees lineup every day. I mean, I like Bryce Harper.
Let me put it to you.
Like if we playing a game like June 12th, I'm gonna most likely take the Yankees lineup.
I will put it to you this way. If the Yankees could take it back and not take Josh Donaldson, they would. They did not. If you look at anyone of the Yankees fans, they were crucified. They like Bader. They didn't like what they had from Judge this postseason. Aaron Judge this entire postseason, by the way, batted .139 with 15 strikeouts. I don't think they like that. Giancarlo Stanton, you just don't know what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like from a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's gonna hit the home run ball everywhere. Like he has insane power, but like from a batting average standpoint, he strikes out a lot, right? Anthony Rizzo, I think Anthony Rizzo is a very good first baseman. He's probably one of the best Yankees they've had all year, including the postseason. But from overall, like Yankees fans, their catcher Trevino batted .45. Like, I mean, from top to bottom, if you want to go top heavy, I could maybe give you the Yankees because when the Yankees top of the lineup is on, you're not beating the Yankees. But there's a reason why the Astros swept the Yankees, and there's a reason why the Phillies are in the World Series.
I get that. I mean, they did get exposed, so. But overall, I'm going to take the Astros in 6. Obviously, I'm not like playing no favorites or anything, but Chas McCormick, Millersville alum, I'm pulling for the kid because I would love to see that World Series ring, come back to school. When we have practice one day, he show up with the ring and show us. So this is what dreams are made of.
And then you can show them the video you bringing them up, talking about Millersville,
Yeah,
let them know about the pot.
So definitely pulling for the Astros in this series. No hate, no disrespect to the Phillies at all. I mean, let's just get it twisted. Like I would actually if it was a Phillies Yankees series, I'm obviously rooting for the Phillies. I really don't care for the Yankees. But yeah, but since it's the Astros and Dusty Baker and Chas McCormick, I'm going to pull for the Astros in this one. Yeah, I mean Dusty Baker. I mean, he's a Cubs manager, longtime manager. Got to the World Series twice. Last year, got beaten by the NL East. Atlanta Braves, underdog. I just don't see that happening this year again, back-to-back years. Give me the Astros in 6. So that's all for MLB. No news with the Cubs, the Sox, Dodgers, even Texas Rangers, even Minnesota Twins. So there's really nothing going on in MLB besides the World Series, obviously, since the championship. You're going to get more and more.
I do have.
Go ahead.
One thing real quick. The Rockies are looking to sign Brandon Nimmo from the Mets. They are expected to give him a 5-year deal worth $115 to $120 million. That is the only real free agent news coming out of baseball. And I don't know if you guys saw earlier in the week that Bryce Harper was supposed to be traded to Houston when he was with Washington. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
wow,
that's pretty crazy news to talk about. But yeah, other than that, you got it.
Yeah, with Bryce Harper going to Houston, I don't think that would have been a good fit either.
Well, he would have just been there for like that, that postseason run. Like Manny Machado was for the Dodgers, literally that same year. Like it was 2018. Like that trade was going to happen. And if you look at it, the guys that the Nationals were going to get back, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never heard of any of those guys. So it would have been safe to say that even for that postseason run, the Astros probably would have won that trade.
Yeah, for sure. So that's all of baseball. World Series, 8:03 p.m. Eastern time tonight on Fox. Tune in. Phillies, Astros. Big series for baseball. Let's see if Dusty Baker can get that ring. So in other ways, we're going to go to NBA with DC.
All right. On the NBA, oh man, these injuries early on in the season are getting crazy. Actually, just an injury update, and this is just for the Lakers alone, people. So we know that right now, Russell Westbrook is on a day-to-day injury with his hamstring that he hurt. He's still day-to-day. Anthony Davis right now is also day-to-day, questionable for today's game against Minnesota with a low back tightness and possible just a lot of cramping in his muscles, especially in his back, having a lot of back spasms and everything as well. But LeBron James is also on a day-to-day and questionable for today as well, too, with his foot. It's probable, but it still might be a chance he might play, but it's probable in a day-to-day with that he might play today as well, too. So those are big 3 key players right there that is going to be out. Dennis Schroeder's still out. He's still sidelined for a few more weeks. I'm going to find out. His other injury wasn't bothering him, but he did have an injury during practice. Around that time, I found out, too, on his injury update to his thumb that he fractured his thumb, had just a small hairline fracture and everything. Pelicans not looking too good. They have 5 players out right now as well too. Brandon Ingram is also, I think he's going to be out as well. Yeah, CJ McCollum is day to day. Jose Alvarado, he's having real bad back spasms as well too. Brandon Ingram, he's out with a concussion, and the Pelicans really need him because they're going on a 3-day road trip right now. And Zion just got moved from out to day with an update on him, and not too many really bigger ones from that. Lillard's and Damian Lillard is out right now as well too. He's going to be out for probably 1 or 2 weeks, most likely 2 weeks. He had a calf injury in the last game that they had. So those are like the big updates right there, especially 3 key players the Lakers need for tonight's game, especially going against the Timberwolves lineup, and especially Anthony Edwards. But in other news, LaMelo Ball, he's still out with his injury, but just going to find out yesterday they was exercising his contract, his 4th-year option contract, and seeing what they're going to do for him within the upcoming years after the season. Are they going to give him the extension and pay him the money? I feel like they would be dumb to get rid of him, in my opinion. I say if keep him there, why not? Or in my opinion, if it was me, I think trade him. I guarantee you send LaMelo Ball to the Lakers with Bron, I'm telling you, that would be a nasty duo right there, in my opinion. With LaMelo's scoring ability, driving ability, and passing ability, especially what Anthony Davis can do for rebounds down low and shoot the ball. But if they get on track,
ability too.
Yeah, and the shooting ability, and also LeBron James playmaking as well too. Those 3 right there, I feel like that would be a trio you cannot stop if you add LaMelo Ball to the Lakers, to be honest. Because like LeVar said, it's going to be one day that all 3 of them might end up being the Lakers. In my opinion, like the teams are not really giving Joe Ball any opportunity. Like you want to give him an opportunity, you put him on a roster, but you don't give him time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, hey, if it was me, I'm making all those type of trades. So they're still looking at trading options for Russ, and they actually might find a team or 2. I was looking, a few teams might be interested in taking that, and doing a 3-team trade. That was possibly send PJ Tucker over to the Lakers with Bron from the 76ers. So yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, games yesterday, my Nets not looking like the Nets. They got beat by 4 points by the Mavericks. It was a real close, tough game, high-scoring game, 129 and 125. Man, Kyrie is just balling. Durant is balling. Like I said, we know what their main problem is right now. It's the rebounds, man. It's the rebounds. But last night has been their best rebounding. They had 45 total team rebounds. But I mean, when you got only one guy on the bench dropping double digits on the Nets team compared to the Dallas Mavericks, who's not even started, like literally the only 2 starters that did something was Dinwiddie and Doncic. Doncic had 41, Dinwiddie had 11. But you had Hardaway had 18, you had Wood had 11, Green had 10, and you had Kepler had 15 on top of that. Like that alone, their bench was just going crazy. It helped out in the game a lot. So, I mean, they're not shooting the ball as well, so they lost that game. They moved to 1-4. I mean, one more win than the Lakers got right now. And Dallas Mavericks moved to 2-2. And I say that was the game of the night last night, but the upcoming games is going to be some good ones actually coming up today. Pelicans and Sun, I don't know. Sun's going to take that one easy, especially with their injuries. Magic are 0-5. They're looking to get their first win as well, too. They play the Hornets, so I think they might actually get their first win tonight. It'll be still a tough game because they still have good players on the Hornets, but I think they should be able to get their first game as well, too. I mean, Lakers do have a tough matchup against 3-2 Timberwolves. So I say I wouldn't even say that's the game of the night, to be honest, so far. But I say game of the night is going to go to Celtics and Cavaliers. They're both 3-1 team. They got Boston at a -6.5. I think Boston might take that one, but it'll be a tough fought battle. So yeah, that's going to be game of the night with the Bucks versus the Knicks. But other than that, that's not too much update other than everything that's going on. The Lakers ain't good today, tomorrow, yesterday, the day before. I don't know when they're going to be getting good. Because all I got to say is they better contact my guy, Lethal Shooter. If y'all don't know who that is, go to his Instagram, because all he do is shoot the ball, because the Lakers need to go to his camps or something, man. They just need to get to him. But I don't know. Y'all got any comments on that? What's going on?
I mean, on Wednesday we had the Bucks and Nets. Giannis had put up 43 points and 14 rebounds. That's with that saying, those two games on that game on Wednesday and his prior game, he put up a total of 87 points and 26 rebounds in those two games from Wednesday to Monday. So they say that's one of the highest amount of points in NBA history in back-to-back two games. So, I mean, what Giannis is doing right now, he's really forcing the hand, making himself into the front runner of MVP. And they're doing all this without Chris Middleton. So I believe Chris Middleton comes back, Giannis wouldn't have to do too much of that. He still get his 25, but he wouldn't have to drop 40 and things like that to win games. I mean, they're winning comfortably, too. They were losing that game at halftime. So that goes to show you the type of influence that Giannis can have in a half or even in a quarter. So if anybody was looking at that, I mean, generational player.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Kevin Durant had put up 25 plus, so did Kyrie, and they still lost. So I think Ben Simmons needs to get his head out of his behind. I mean, we understand he's been missed out for 2 years. I like that he's on the court. I like that he's on the court right now. I like that he's being aggressive in some instances, passing the ball, rebounding, playing defense well. You can't really knock the man about that. He's involved. He's just not involved in scoring, and that's what the Nets need. He has really good defense. He's been playing really stellar defense. I mean, it goes to show you he actually cares because he's fouled out of 2 games already this season. So it goes to show that he cares, and you can see him talking to refs as well. So it goes to show you that he actually cares about being on the court and wants to win. So can't knock him about that. So with that being said, he just needs to put his head down and needs to, like we all say, develop a jump shot and go score the basketball. Need to find some way to get at least 15 points because those 15 points would be very crucial behind KD's 25 and Kyrie's 25.
I wouldn't even say 15. If he can at least get 10, if he can at least average like 10 points and like at least 10 rebounds with like 5 assists, just that right there will even help out a little bit more. He ain't got to drop 15. At least give me 10. If you can give me 10 a night, that'll be fine. Just don't airball no layups, okay? That's all I gotta say. You cannot be airballing layups, bro.
Thanks,
man. But at the same time, like Kyrie Irving was saying, when they kept asking me, like, how do you feel like about Ben being on the team? It's like you said, bro. It's like, yeah, stop coming to me about it, okay? Yeah, but they still got to understand that man has not played basketball in 2 years. He hasn't. He has not played basketball in 2 years, and I can understand that as well too. And sometimes that can be the hardest thing coming back from. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody didn't talk about the time when what's his name, Andre Roberson. He was out for almost 2 years too. He didn't really make an impact, but where is he? He's not in the NBA. He's not playing right now still. So it's like, even though he came back, his first few games, he ain't really do anything. He haven't doing anything. So it's like, man, they're giving him more problems because the only reason why they're giving him more problems because they see him is because of mostly it has to do with his jump shots, him shooting shots, like shooting.
I think it's really because of him being an all-star. That's
Yeah,
why
he's all-star material and everything like that. But at the same time,
go ahead.
It's like you still got to give him some type of break, having that 2 years off, dealing with the injuries and then what he had to deal with his team and everything like that. Like, it wasn't the fact, like, with the injury, cool, he was out then, but him not, like, it wasn't him not wanting to play, but it's like he wanted to play. He asked to play so many times during before his last year with the 76ers. They didn't want to play him because they was looking at different contracts and see who wanted him. But it's like, why not? If it's me, like, yeah, let me play. But if you know I'm getting traded and the team doesn't want me to play, okay, hurry up, make the trade finalized and everything like that. But I'm not finna sit here and wait a year, you know what I'm saying, for me to get traded. I'm not finna wait to, you know what I'm saying? If you go, let me do it, get me out of my contract, do what you need to do, and let me get with the other team so I can start playing right away. Cool, yeah, I'm injured. Cool, then get me over there. I'll do what I need to do, rehab with them, and be with the team and get ready to start balling out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the one thing that, like, nobody didn't take consideration as well, too. Like, him being out, like, he wanted to play, but they didn't want him to play because they didn't want to risk, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want him to get injured just in case as soon as they released him or got rid of him or traded him, they didn't want, you know what I'm saying, that to happen. So, like, but it's at the same time, yes, you should be an all-star. You should be balling out like an all-star. You still had a lot of downtime, a lot of off season and stuff like that to do what you need to do and get ready for the season as soon as you can play. So you don't have no excuse on that. So you is right about that, about the all-star and everything like that. So
yeah, that's why people are on his case so much. It's because he was an all-star. I mean, we're not looking at Andre Roberson. Oh my goodness, he's not playing up to par in 2 years. He was never an all-star. No one cares. That's the thing. No one cares about Andre Roberson. I understand where you come from, and I agree that he hasn't played in 2 years either. And he was still a professional basketball player, but he was not all-star material. Ben Simmons was an all-star. That's exactly why people are on his case so much. That's why they call him soft, because he was an all-star.
And also, it's not like he was just like he developed into one. He was the first overall pick in his draft, dude. He was the next LeBron. That's what he came out to be. If you don't remember when he came out of the draft, he was the next LeBron. But they said LeBron didn't come into the league as a shooter. So if Ben develops his shot, he could be like LeBron. It took LeBron a while to develop his shot. This is NBA experts. This isn't me saying it. This is NBA experts saying it. And I'm sorry. It wasn't him saying that he wanted to not be on the Sixers. I mean, it's not that he didn't want to play. He did not want to play. He said, I don't want to be on the Sixers anymore. He made it clear he didn't want to be there because Doc Rivers hurt his feelings. That's what happened. It's not, he didn't want to play. The Sixers were just sitting him. No, he made it clear. You guys do not have my back. I want out. He made it very clear. But wasn't really showing up in training camp.
But at the same time, though, but you got to put it like, I got a question. Like when he first came in, bro, like even him shooting, bro, they didn't have a shooter, but Seth Curry at the time when he was like, it was only basically him doing all the stuff, like getting the offensive rebounds, driving the basket, doing everything. So it's like it was really only him. They didn't really have too many people around him, except for
Joel Embiid. I think is a pretty big player. I think Joel Embiid's a pretty good player in the NBA.
But besides them two, think about it. They're both at least gonna have 30-point games and still average double-doubles. But other than that, the shooting really wasn't there when they had them and stuff like that. So it's like
in the beginning, I don't disagree. In the beginning, they didn't. Yeah, I don't disagree in the beginning because outside of him, it was, JJ Redick's a good shooter, but then it was Robert Covington and Dario Saric. I don't disagree with that statement with the beginning of Ben Simmons. But the thing was, it was Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are clear superstars. We're going to make them two develop together. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid clearly did not have the same mindset. They didn't agree with each other. And I'm sorry, Ben Simmons, you're saying you want him to score 10 points a game. He has scored 11 points in the last 2 games. In the last 2 games, he scored 11 points. Against the Mavericks, when you got Kevin Durant putting up 39, and you got, I think, what's his name?
Kyrie Irving 41. Put up.
Kyrie went off too. And you got Ben Simmons giving you 7? And you want to say he played good defense. He's the one guarding Giannis. he was the one guarding Luka, and they both combined had 84 points. So he's might be getting you steals, but it's not consistent play from the defensive end. And you want to say, oh, he's been away from basketball. It's not like he was hurt. It was his choice not to be in basketball.
Well, let me come back at you with this one. You just said Giannis, right, and Luka Doncic.
Yes, they both combined at 84 points in the 2 games against the Brooklyn Nets.
Those two are going to 9 times out of 10 be Hall of Famers in their careers. Those two will drop 40 on anybody in this league, whether you're a good defender or not.
I say this.
But let me finish.
Giannis,
Ben Simmons hasn't played stellar defense against a superstar of that caliber in 2 years. And this was game what?
1 year.
5? This was game 5 of the NBA season. So you gotta let him get time acclimated back into that. And about the point about him coming into the league, about trying to be a shooter like LeBron, we did him a disservice with that because we all knew that he wasn't. That he already came in on a bad seat, on a bad beat. He was already getting compared to LeBron James. LeBron James is a billionaire, multi-generational player. Top 5 in the NBA history. We already doing Ben Simmons a disservice by bringing him into the league, thinking that he's going to be the next LeBron. So we did him a little disservice there too as well, expecting more greatness than what he probably was going to give you.
True.
And we're seeing it now. And
make that case. But listen, But with LeBron's case with that, wasn't he called the chosen one? Wasn't he the cover of every magazine at the age of 15? Like, other players have had to go through this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am sick and tired of making excuses for Ben Simmons. He'll develop a shot. No, he can't. He's a hard worker. No, he's not a hard worker. He'll do this, that, and the other. Well, he hasn't done this. He hasn't done that. And he definitely can't do the other. I'm sorry. When you want him in the clutch, he ain't there. Sorry. I get it. In that Dallas game, he had a big steal to bring that game into overtime. I will give Ben Simmons credit. I will give Ben Simmons. He's a great playmaker, and he can get people open. I will get that. The issue is the Brooklyn Nets already have 2 ball-dominant players. And Ben Simmons is the worst off-ball player in the NBA.
Yeah, off ball because he can't shoot the shot. But my thing is, you got to put it as this. He was with a team that he easily fit with the rotation, with the lineup, everything they had, their play type, their playing style and everything. But now he's with a team that mostly like shoot the outside shot, has the jump shots and everything like that. Most of the time, you're not going to get a lot of pick and rolls and stuff like that. So now, like, at the same time, he still has to adjust with this new offensive style too. Because I'm not saying, Kyrie can't drive. We know what Kyrie can do. We know what Durant can do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's not used to playing with guys like that as well, too. So, like, at the same time, it's like, how is he going to fit in the offense? Where? Put him down in the post with Claxton. Why not? You get your top 3 people, Kyrie, Durant, get somebody else, put him down there with Claxton. Because guess what? If you bang down low with somebody smaller than him, there's no doubt he's going to be able to score that. Get him one-on-one situations. I put money he's going to get that. Because he's also big like that. I've seen him back people down, bringing up the ball. I've seen him shoot them with 5-foot little hook shots and all of that. You can do those. So I say right now he should play what he knows how to do. Why he's trying to get used to the new offense as well too.
No, I'm not defending Ben Simmons at all one bit. I think he is kind of soft for sitting out though that long as well when he could have played. He is kind of soft for that. I'm not defending him on that one bit. But you also got to look at the 2 type of players that people are trying to compare him to. LeBron James coming out of high school was going to be the chosen, regardless. He was that guy coming out of high school. Ben Simmons was coming out of LSU, and he didn't even play in the playoffs, in the tournament. He gave up on his team and said, I'm going to get ready for the draft. LeBron wouldn't have done that. LeBron would have never sat out no tournament. Or would have never sat out no regular season games in college.
And to be honest, Ben Simmons didn't even supposed to play his first year.
Come on now.
He didn't.
He
didn't play his first year.
Even though he was the number 1 pick, Markelle Fultz was the number 1 pick as well. And look at what he's doing. So we can't really look at
Yeah,
the number one pick.
he
Well,
got
you
injured.
can't look at
Didn't
the
do
number one
nothing, but
pick.
now
No,
he's
you're
still
not wrong.
balling out.
That point you're not wrong with. Like, but at the same time, but with the Sixers, I kind of mishandled Markel with that as well. They kind of gave Markel. I kind of feel bad for Markel. Also, both sides, it could have been better with that one. But with Ben, we gave that man. He didn't, like you said, didn't play his first year. He was sat on the bench because it was like, yo, you got hurt during I think it was preseason or spring, or what was it, summer league. Do not play. We want to rest you. You're our star, right? Next year, as Sixers fans, we're like, oh, this guy's awesome. He just knows how to get people open. He's a great playmaker. He's giving us 15, 16 a game. You know what I mean? He knows how to drive the lane. This is great. And we're like, okay, maybe next year he could develop a shot a little bit more. And then that didn't happen. It was the same story as last year. Okay. Well, then the next year, let's see if he could develop a shot a little bit. That didn't happen. It was the same story. Okay, maybe the year after that, maybe he will develop. It didn't happen again. Maybe the year after that. We gave him 5 years to maybe adjust and become a better shooter. And he has such a big ego, and he's too stubborn to do it. And if you think that he's going to adjust his game with the Nets, you're lying to yourself. Plain and simple.
We'll
he's
have
not
to wait
going
and
to.
see on that one for sure. But I do think that, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I do think we did do him a disservice coming out of the league thinking he was going to be LeBron James. And, he wasn't even LeBron James. I don't even think he was really the superstar player on LSU at the time. There was another guy there that was averaging more than he was. So we're up against it. And last takes for NBA, we got obviously Lakers are 33 and 148 from three, 8 for 30 on Wednesday night against the Nuggets. That's 26% from three. They put up 40 shots and only hit 8 of them. They put up 40 shots and only hit 8 of them, and those out of those 3. A total of 90 shots in the game, and 30 of them were threes, and only made 8 of them. So you're telling me you put up over 90? They put up 90 shots, and shot 30 of them from deep, and they only hit 8.
And let me say that. And let me add on to that. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis is not safe anymore with me. You literally an ultimate big man, bro. Literally, bro. You can do everything Giannis can do, but actually shoot the outside 3 ball. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Anthony Davis is not safe, bro. Like, literally, like, everybody talking about him, bro. Anthony Davis can be doing way more because LeBron James should not be leading in rebounds, assists, and points, yes. Assists, we know he go past that rock. No, everybody should know that. But LeBron should not be leading in rebounds, bro. He should not be leading in rebounds. You a big man. Like, get down there, bang down low sometime, and get that rebound, bro. Because I'm telling you, if Davis get the rebound and you got LeBron going on a fast break, please tell me who's stopping that. Like, nobody's stopping that.
I get the frustration. I mean, the whole country that are Laker fans are frustrated.
All I gotta say, if I'm Giannis, bro, and I see LeBron coming to me down there, you think I'm contesting that? I don't care if I'm taller than this man, 7 foot, whatever. You got to be out your mind if you think I'm gonna contest LeBron after seeing him dunk on how many 7 foot dudes in the league. I don't care. So it's like, bro, I'm sorry, bro. Like, that man, like, I'm telling you, Anthony Davis has to bang down low and get those rebounds, bro. Because I'm telling you, if he plays tonight, he's going to get somebody that's going to be grabbing him. Rudy Gobert down there with him. So that's going to be a good one. But we don't even know if they're going to be playing until they play.
Tim Legler also said they don't have an above-average pure shooter, let alone a good shooter. So that goes to tell you right there that they can't shoot the ball one bit. They can't shoot. And the thing is, about playing for the Lakers is just a different feel about playing for the Lakers than playing for another franchise. The Lakers, Los Angeles lives and dies about their Lakers. Regardless if you are from LA. They live and die by their Lakers. It's a different kind of pressure when you play for the Lakers. these guys that are on here on this roster cannot play for the Lakers because they are not Laker material. Their expectation of coming in and shooting the basketball is just not Laker material. You got LeBron James telling everybody we're just not a team of shooters. Okay, so what then? Stop shooting then. If you keep saying that, stop shooting it. Also, there's other ways to win games. They still not doing that. You can say that they're not shooters at all, but you're telling me you're a professional basketball player and you can't hit from 15 feet? I was watching the game against the Nuggets. They were missing shots from 15 to 20 feet, let alone shooting threes. They were missing from 10 to 20 feet. Missing free throws. Everybody in the NBA can knock down free throws. They're missing free throws. They're missing plays. Do they even run a set offense? I'm watching the game and I'm watching LeBron James have the ball and he's coming.
Yeah, they do.
And they just look around.
It's called give the ball to LeBron and let him ball out.
They're not running no plays. They're not telling dudes to get over there. He's not even directing traffic. They're just playing basketball. They playing street ball. And on defense, I don't see a kind of defensive game plan they got going on. If you know man is not working, because Jokic was torching that man defense the whole game. He was torching them. I was watching it, doing crazy behind the back passes. Oh, no look bounce passes and stuff. Over the shoulder, no look passes. He was torching your defense.
Crazy work.
And if you're doing man defense, do you obviously think I should stay in man for the second half so he can keep torching me? Jokic was like plus 10 when he was on the court. When he was off the court, they were -7. When they were off the court, when he was off the court, they were -7. The Lakers were actually doing well when Jokic wasn't on the court. So that goes to tell me that you can't win a basketball game because you can't stop superstars. You can't contain a superstar. You're going to let him get heat, but you let others feed off of him as well. I understand Jokic is a multi-generational player as well. I understand he's a superstar to make it, if not already. Because he's already got back-to-back MVP, so he's already a superstar. I understand that. But if you're going to keep your defense in to stand with Jokic, or, okay, Jokic going to get his, let him get it. You need to stop others. Bruce Brown hit 4 for 5 from 3 in the first half. And you telling me that it's just ridiculous. Matt Ryan is their best 3-point shooter, and he comes off the bench and don't play no minutes.
And was giving them crazy work on everything.
That's Matt Ryan, a dude who was signed to shoot threes. Right. Lakers have a problem. But we're up against it. That's NBA. Anything else in basketball?
Nothing else really besides that. I say it's just
games.
If the Lakers gonna be a contention team, that's it for real. It's like what are we gonna see? How do you end the year off?
Yep, that's the NBA. We got Bulls and Spurs tonight, 8:30. Like he said, Cavs and Celtics. We got 76ers. They're 1-4. They better turn it around. This is a good game that they can turn it around against. They got the Raptors. Bucks and Knicks. The Knicks are 3-1. So we're going to see about that game on Monday morning to see what happens this weekend with the Knicks. Lakers could start 0-11 from looking at their schedule. They could start 0-11, if not 0-13, before they win a game. That's a problem. They're 0-4. They got the Timberwolves tonight. Jazz, Nuggets. The Jazz are 4-1. So
I say first 15 games they'll go 4-11.
Okay. Trailblazers are 4-1. They lost Damian Lillard. He has a hip sprain.
Yeah, he's gonna be out for 2 weeks, possibly longer.
He's done with that, and we're gonna go to Billy with football. We got college today as well, so we're gonna key in on college more. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, we'll start off with the NFL because we got to see an NFL game last night. There was some college ranked games last night, but I want to start off with the NFL. More of the same with the Buccaneers as they lost to the Ravens. Ravens, congratulations, you guys hold on to a fourth quarter lead. They were able to win that game 27-22. Lamar played really well in that game. He threw for 238, 2 touchdowns, had a QBR 62, which is very good. In the first half, it looked like the Ravens only had 27 rushing yards. They weren't running the ball well in the first half, and Lamar had to throw the ball 30 times. That's a recipe for disaster. But in the second half, Lamar only had to throw the ball 8 times. And at the end of the game, the Ravens rushed for 231 yards. So they dominated through that game. A big stat, though, through that game was the Ravens had 74 plays of offense. So that is a lot. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, Brady and the Bucs, man, it's ugly. It's ugly. Their O-line's not really good. I mean, you got Brady running around for his life. If you watch that game, it was bad from an offensive line perspective. From Brady, he missed some throws, definitely. He had some drops. They just don't. They look out of sync, that whole team. There was so many times that the Bucs were going to were scoring touchdowns, but then they had a penalty get called back. I still believe it's fixable because you're in a division where it really is. It could really go to anybody. I mean, the Panthers, if they win this week, would be the number 1 team in the NFC South. Let that sink in for a second. The Panthers, that is insane. Just 2 weeks ago, they were the worst team just last week, they were the worst team in football, and now they're good. And now they might actually be able to be in the playoffs somehow. I don't know if you guys saw, Brady announced on Twitter that him and Giselle they will be getting a divorce. I don't want to go too deep into the personal information, but a bad thing for the Bucs in that game. Shaq Barrett's out for the year towards Achilles. That's a killer. Shaq Barrett's their best pass rusher. But with some NFL news, we have trade deadline coming up. So, of course, there's going to be some moves happening. A trade that happened after our show on Wednesday. Robert Quinn is now a Philadelphia Eagle. One of the best pass rushers in football when he's on. I know he's had a down year this year, but I think that's because a lot of teams are just trying to take Robert Quinn out of the equation. Now that they have Robert Quinn and Hassan Reddick and Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, they have so many guys that they can throw at you in Philly. It's going to be tough to block them. So I think Philadelphia wins in the trade of today, helps them in the short term, helps them if they're trying to win a Super Bowl. When you go to Chicago, it helps them in the long term. They can get off that contract from Robert Quinn. They're trying to rebuild that team. And that 4th-round pick could potentially turn into a starter for them. Who knows? That's a big trade for Philly and also for Chicago. Another trade that happened, Kadarius Toney is now a Kansas City Chief. Clearly, there was some things behind the scenes that we all know about with Kadarius Toney and the Giants. But now he's a Kansas City Chief, and the Chiefs, the rich get richer. They get another weapon for Patrick Mahomes, and Kadarius Toney, when he's healthy, is one of the best, is an incredible athlete. There are some trade rumors. Kareem Hunt, like we talked about in the last episode, he's definitely going to be up there for trade discussion for running backs. Another running back under there is Cameron Akers, running back from the Rams. He's been out for the last couple of weeks, mainly because the Rams are trying to find a way to get rid of him. And then when you look at it from Alvin Kamara's also on the trade block, it sounds like the Saints are seeing if they can move off of him. I don't know if that's 100% true yet, but that is just some rumors going around the NFL when it comes to trades.
It wouldn't be smart.
I'm not saying it's smart. I'm not saying it's dumb, but I definitely, if you can get Alvin Kamara, you definitely should go for it. You know what I mean? If you're a contending team, right? If he's available. Also, another running back up for trade is Antonio Gibson of the Commanders. So we'll see how that one goes. But when it goes to NFL games this week, there's some good ones, I believe.
Did you talk about Chubb?
Bradley Chubb, yes. Bradley Chubb is definitely up there. I mean, there's some pass rushers. Bradley Chubb is up there. I believe there was another guy.
Yeah, he's the number one.
Josh Allen of the Jaguars, because a lot of people believe that Brian Burns, nobody wants to trade 2 first-round picks for Burns. So Josh Allen of the Jaguars is now getting some people are definitely looking into that one.
Wow.
But when it comes to NFL games this week, we have a game in London, Denver Broncos Hey, Russell Wilson be working out on the plane. Maybe they could turn it around. I don't know. When it comes to Jacksonville, every game they're in, they've lost 5 games all by 1 possession. They're in every game, but they just can't finish. Then you got Panthers, Falcons. Winner of that game is the leader of the NFC South. How about that one? That is insane. Bears, Dallas. I think that game's interesting to me. I think the Bears can make that game tough on Dallas. Dallas's offense is just so – I don't know what I'm getting. They're just not explosive. And then when you look at Chicago runs the ball really well, and that's the weakness of Dallas. You run the ball on them, you could give Dallas some trouble. You got Miami, Detroit. That's a good game. Detroit, even though they've lost 4 straight, they're going to look to rebound and respond. Miami is 4-0 with Tua at quarterback, so we'll see if he can continue that. Steelers, Eagles. Eagles look healthy. I don't know if they're going to play Robert Quinn. Probably not. But when you go on to the Steelers side of things, it's just going to be tough. I mean, there's no really easy way to say it. Kenny Pickett's going to go against another really good defense with Philadelphia. It's in Philly. I believe the Steelers have never won at Philly. So that's a stat to keep in mind if you care about that. Cardinals, Vikings. I'm intrigued by that game because I want to see how Minnesota covers D-Hop. I think if D-Hop can make an effect in that game, I think Arizona has a very good chance of moving on to 4-4. Raiders, Saints. Saints now are still competitive in the NFC South, even though they're 2-5. The Raiders, though, they're definitely going to want to win. They're a really good team. They just can't win. They just haven't been able to finish in those 4 losses. I think that they'll probably get the win in New Orleans. Patriots, Jets. I know probably everybody loves the Jets this week because they're 1-4 straight, and the Patriots just had a bad game. But the Jets have not beat the Patriots in regulation. They have not beaten the Patriots since 2010. Let that sink in for a second. Only time they beat the Patriots since 2010 was in overtime. How crazy is that? Titans, Texans. Divisional game. Anything can happen. Do not be surprised if the Texans pull off an upset. That's all I'll say. I know the Titans are 4-game winning streak, but this is the definition of a trap game. Commanders, Colts, the game of the backups, Sam Ellinger, Taylor Heineke, the game of the week, I guess. I don't know. But Colts are trying to turn it around after benching Matt Ryan. 49ers, Rams, great divisional game. Niners usually have the Rams number, but both teams are definitely going to be looking for a win after their disappointing starts to the season. Giants, Seahawks. Who would have thought that this would have been the game of the week? Who would have thought coming into the year that's the Giants, who are 6-1, are going to the 4-3 Seahawks? I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think this is going to be a very good game. Then you got Packers, Bills Sunday night. Can the Packers hopefully turn it around? Maybe. Can they turn it around? Buffalo, they're looking to just destroy everybody. You know what I mean? They've been playing great this year. But can Aaron Rodgers turn it around for the Packers? We'll see. Bengals at the Browns, AFC North matchup. I'm very intrigued by that game. I know the Browns are 2-5, but the Browns have beaten the Bengals every time over the last 2 years with Joe Burrow, who has been the starter. Not saying it's crazy to say that the Browns win that game, but the Bengals should probably win. But I think this is a really good slate of NFL games this week. You guys have any thoughts for the NFL so far?
I don't know. Bengals lost Jamar Chase for
big loss.
Yeah, they lost him for game 8, they said, but now he's potentially out for 3 to 4 weeks now. So
4 to 6, I saw. It's a hip. It's almost hip. It's a hip contusion. I think
that makes it a few more weeks even worse. So it's just got to see how they play with him not being there.
The Giants are 6-1 and have the Seahawks. The Giants win, they're going to the playoffs, and they'll be 7-1. Think about it.
How wild is that?
Let's just get that through our head that the Giants are 6-1, and if they win this week, they'll be 7-1, and they'll be going to the playoffs.
And what's crazy with the Giants is they're not blowing anybody out. If you look at all their wins and all their games, even their loss, it's all one-possession games. Their biggest wins by 8 points against the Bears. They're not blowing anybody out. They are so well coached They are so just well prepared. They know how to adjust. I think that's the biggest thing is they know how to
They
adjust.
have
Exactly.
six wins. The
know how
Buffalo
to
Bills
adjust.
have 5. Let's just let that sink in.
They-
The Bills have
it's
6
incredible.
wins, and the Buffalo Bills have 5.
Incredible. It's incredible.
And here's
Brian
here's
Daboll's coach of the year. There's no debate. Brian Daboll's the coach of the year at this particular point. He has done a phenomenal job. He's making Daniel Jones work. He's making Daniel Jones work right now. And coming into the year, nobody thought that was going to happen. And they're making Saquon looks like old Saquon. The offensive line for the Giants, it is night and day.
Yards.
Dude, it is night and day between last year and this year with this Giants offensive line. From a defensive perspective, they're not allowing you to score over 20 points. I mean, seriously, they are playing so good on both sides of the ball. They're so well coached and they're not making mistakes. They're not turning the ball over. That's been their Achilles heel over the last how many years is that Daniel Jones just kind of hands the ball off to the other team. And now it's just a completely different story.
Yeah,
It
he's
is
not
kind of
doing
and
too much.
And it's hard to believe that the Giants missed the playoffs at this point because their schedule is so easy. If you look at it, they don't have a lot of tough games for the rest of the year. There's definitely going to be a couple more losses in there, but
let's just say the Houston Texans have more wins than the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's get to college football.
Anybody got more wins than them? I got more 2K wins than they'll probably have this season.
Well, we had an incredible game last night between Virginia Tech and North Carolina State. North Carolina State heading into the fourth quarter was trailing 21-10 against the Hokies, and then they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. North Carolina State, I believe, had to play with their backup. I believe their quarter starter was out hurt, so that is an incredible win for the Wolfpack. They're still trying to compete in the ACC after back-to-back losses to Syracuse. I'm sorry, not back-to-back losses, but they lost, recently to Clemson and Syracuse. So North Carolina State still trying to compete for potential ACC championship game. And then the other game at night was Utah at Washington State. We had a 21-17 final. Utah was up 21-7 going into the fourth quarter. Late, Washington State tried to make some plays late to make it a game, but it was too little too late. Did not start Cam Rising. I find that a little interesting when it comes to Utah, but they were able to get the win. And they might have the best tight end in college football. That kid, their tight end is unbelievably good this year. Kincaid is having himself a season. Last week, if you saw the USC game, I think he had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. The kid was ridiculous. But this week we have a good slate of college football games. This is awesome. I think college football this year has knocked it out of the park with some of these games. When it comes to the 12 o'clock window, the game of that time frame, of course, will be Ohio State at Penn State. When Penn State's doing their not whiteout, but they're doing their stripes. They're doing the blue and white throughout the entire stadium and their different sections. So the student section, Penn State's going to be wild for this game. Usually these games with Penn State, Ohio State are one-possession games. They're usually close almost every single year. The bad part for Penn State is usually Ohio State wins those games every year. But
do not count them out.
When you look at it, I'm not saying so now. Penn State, they had a really good win against Minnesota, so maybe that gets them going again. But this is going to be tough for them. But I think that this is the first true test for Ohio State. This is their second road game of the season. This is their first real ranked game that they've really had to face all regular season. So this is the first true test for Ohio State. But we said this when Penn State played Michigan, and Michigan shut me up pretty quickly. But yeah, that's the game. That's the big time game for the 12 o'clock window. You got some good games too at 12 o'clock as well with TCU, West Virginia. TCU looking to stay undefeated. West Virginia, even though they're 3-4, they're going to give you a battle. And then Notre Dame and Syracuse. I think that's a really good matchup because Notre Dame they've been disappointing. They're going to give you a fight. And Syracuse, after a tough loss to Clemson, hopefully they can rebound and keep it going for them to maybe get to an ACC title game. For the 3 o'clock window, another good slate of games. Oklahoma State, Kansas State's going to be a really good game, guys. I mean, number 9, number 22. I think Kansas State can make this a game. They're actually favored, by the way, by 1.5. That is going to be an incredible game to watch. To keep it going for you, we have another Big Ten West matchup this time with Illinois going to Nebraska. Even though Nebraska's got a bad record, they're not completely out of the Big Ten race to make it to the Big Ten championship game. But Illinois has been looking unbelievable this year, having a great season. So they're going to look to keep pushing for that moving forward. And then they got some good games tonight. You got Kentucky going to Tennessee. That's going to be a really good game if Will Levis is playing. Will Levis against Hendon Hooker. Those are going to be 2 sought-after prospects in this coming-up draft. Got Michigan State against Michigan. Even though Michigan State's having a bit down year, we know how big this rivalry is. Don't turn the TV off for this game. It's going to be a good one. And Pitt, North Carolina, I think is going to be interesting. And then Ole Miss and Texas A&M. I get it. Texas A&M has been disappointing, and Ole Miss just had a bad loss. But it's a big SEC matchup. Those games are always going to be good.
You got the Florida-Georgia game, the big rivalry game right there. Florida-Georgia.
Absolutely. I think if Georgia right now is favored by 22.5, if they cover that spread, it's hard for me not to say they're still number one. A lot of people think that they don't deserve to be number one because of what Tennessee did to Alabama and all that, and because they had that scare against Missouri, and Ohio State's been just blowing out everybody. They should be better. But if they're able to blow out Florida, who, no matter how you want to think of it, it's a big SEC game. It's a rivalry. It's a state rivalry. You know what I mean? Like Georgia and Florida, they're right next to each other. Even though Florida 4-3, they're still one of the better teams. They can always give you a little bit of a scare. They have an incredibly athletic quarterback, even though passing-wise hasn't been great this year. But from just an athletic standpoint, Richardson is unbelievable. So I think that game could become interesting, but I believe Georgia – be tough to cover, but I think Georgia will win that game, probably very handily.
Okay. Hey, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. I tell you.
That's all we got for football. Meech, did you want to take over Donovan's spot? He's not here with us today. Did you want to take over the NHL or?
Yeah, I can take over.
Wait, what's his number 4 spot? We need a Heisman. Where's the Heisman at?
That's going to be at the end of the show.
Oh, we're doing the end of the show. Oh man. Okay.
So, last night games, I've been looking at some highlights, looking at scores and stuff like that. Bruins looking like the old Bruins. Went 5-1 over the Red Wings. Everything looking good. Canadians took 3-2 over the Sabres. I don't even want to talk about my Blues right now, so I'll talk about them last. You got the Wild versus Senators. I was hoping the Senators would have won that, but the Wild ended up taking that. Flyers and Panthers, I say it was a real game. I wouldn't say game of the night, but I say second to the game of the night. Flyers took that over the Panthers. Oilers versus Blackhawks was a very interesting game as well too.
Yeah, baby.
That was a good one. That was a very good one. I was hoping the Blackhawks could have took that one over the Oilers. Yeah.
Connor McDavid did a lot in that game. He had 3 goals.
Yeah, man, that was a crazy finish. I'll tell you.
Leon Draisaitl had 2 assists. Can't do much about that. I mean, Edmonton is different kind of level.
Yeah. Jets and Kings also had a good game, but Jets took that one by 2, going 6-4. And the Blues, we lost 2 games in a row. Lost to the Predators, which should have been a close matchup. I'll say even if overtime 6-2, we had a couple F faults. I'd say mostly it's our defense not getting back really too well in these open shots or one-on-one opportunities with some of our top scorers. We're not getting them. And so I feel like we just got to turn that around. We did have one of our guys going to be back, but we didn't play him off his game being back off of injury, so that'll help us put him back in the lineup. He's a good scorer, and I know that he'll help us back being on the offensive side. I say one team don't sleep on to not sleep on is the Dallas Stars. Stars won 2-0, man. I mean, I know like they can be iffy sometimes, but hey, no, you can't sleep on them just yet. I mean, they're still
5-2 with 11 points.
yeah. So I mean, I say Dallas Stars. Everybody didn't see them really doing too well this season. Count them out, but I say don't count them out. They're doing incredible good. It's just they got to make sure their defensive players are actually there, and I feel like everything could go good with them. That's really
Philadelphia Flyers are 5-2.
yeah.
Carter
Flyers
Hart 5-0
5-2.
as a starter. Carter Hart 5-0 as a starter. He has been playing unbelievable hockey so far. But I still think it's too good to be true. I still think that the Flyers will find a way to get
Too
out.
early.
Yeah, it's early in the season. It's only 7 games in. But I think right now, like you said, Boston's having a great start to the season. I mean, listen, there's some good teams that have been disappointing so far. I mean, Tampa Bay has only got 8 points so far. They're 4-4. But you expect Tampa Bay to be better, right? I mean, they've been to the Stanley Cup 3 straight years. I don't think that they're done yet. I think that they'll probably find a way to maybe not win the division because that division is good, but they'll definitely be back near the top. Colorado's starting to come back, starting to put it back together. They're starting to play better now. Vegas is starting off pretty good this year. 6-2. We talked about Calgary in the past. They're 5-1. They're playing unbelievable hockey to start the year. And so far, Connor McDavid's got 8 goals. He is playing some unbelievable hockey to start the year.
Yeah,
and we know how Edmonton is. They like to put the puck in the back of the net more consistently than anybody else. The issue is their defense is a little underwhelming and they're just not deep. But good for Vancouver getting their first win. Hey, let's talk about that. Good for Vancouver. They finally got their first win. Who did they just beat? They beat the Kraken. So good for them, man. Canucks finally get a win on the board. There's no winless teams in hockey, so that's great news. And like we talked about, like some great teams. Like I mean, the Rangers have been a little disappointing to start the year. They're 3-3-2, but again, it's early, and we know that the Rangers, they're super talented. They'll get it together. They're going to be really good. St. Louis right now, you guys are talking about them right now. They are. If the playoffs started today, they'd be outside looking in. But again, that's why we don't only play 6, 7, or 8 games to a season. There's 82. Blues will get it together. They'll be a playoff team. They're super talented. But overall, it's a good start to this hockey season because I don't think that there's too many like really bad teams. I know Anaheim's starting off slow, and I know Vancouver, they finally got their first win, and we know how bad Arizona really is. The Blue Jackets, but those teams, they'll figure it out. Blue Jackets, they should because they got Johnny Hockey, you got Patrick Laine, they got a lot of really good players on that team that can definitely turn the Blue Jackets. I'm not saying they'll make the playoffs, but like I said, there's a lot of good teams in hockey right now. There's not a lot of like really bad teams, but we'll find that out as the season goes on. So,
true. And then tonight, I say tonight's game of the night is going to be the she's going to take. I want to see who's going to take this one. The Devils they've been looking good. Also, kind of iffy on their defense as well too. But 4-2-1 Avalanche versus 4-3 Devils tonight. And then hopefully the Ducks can pull off their second win versus the Golden Knights. But Bruins are playing the Blue Jackets 7-1. And so, but I say game of night, I want to see what the Avalanche, I want them to really see what they do, really attacking the goalie, see how many shots on goals they get, but see how many goals they get out of that, though. So I say we'll see with that one. That one would be a good one as well, too.
In other news, we have PGA Tour. Nothing really like the big tours like the French Open and the U.S. Open, but you got the Butterfield Bermuda Cup, the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Sorry. Number one, you got like 4 Americans tied, 4 Americans in the top 5 right now. But there's 4 guys tied for second place. So you got Ben Crane, number 1. Number 2, tied for second place, you got Adam Schenk, Robbie Shelton, and Ben Griffin. And Aaron Baddeley, a British golfer, is tied with them at -13. and Ben Crane has -14. So they're shooting it pretty well in that cup, in that championship. So, and we'll finish up the show with DC's Heisman. Go ahead, DC. Who's the Heisman?
So I've been doing a
4.
lot of thinking, and a lot of it was like because I had 3 running backs at my number 4 spot. But now it's like making me think. It's been like one quarterback that I've been missing out on that I keep forgetting about, and it's like I said. So I switched it up a lot, and I gave it a thought. I don't think I'm gonna put I say I want to put a receiver up there, and I want to put a running back up there. But it's like, man, you can't leave this guy out. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually go with a running back as my number 4. We're gonna go from the man from the University of Illinois himself, Mr. Chase Brown, I believe it is. I mean, he already has 1,000 rushing yards in the season already that it is. I mean, I don't think nobody's going to really stop him. You know, he has 4 TDs, but 1,000 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, still not bad out of 192 attempts. So, I mean, hey, at the rate he's going, he might have 2,000. I don't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit too far. But you never know. By the time the season ends, he might at least have 1,500 yards, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe a little bit more than that. So if I say don't expect him, you know what I'm saying, not to ball out by the end of his season. Hope he has a good rest of the season. So at the number 4 spot, I'm going with Chase Brown, final Illini. And I have the rest of everything already set up for my next pick. Continue for my list.
So who's your 5 and 4?
So my 5 is Shedeur Sanders. But if we've been technical, he'll be my 5. But if I'm gonna be honest, I'll put Max Duggan down at 5. Really, TCU quarterback.
Tie for 5.
Yeah, so it'll be a tie for 5. I'll put Duggan in there. I mean, think about it, 7-0. He's balling out. I mean, come on, why not? I mean, dude is incredible. 7-0. Last time TCU really had a team like that, that's when they had Trayvon Boykins at quarterback with Josh Dotson back there. So I say that was the last time TCU had one of their best offensive side of teams. TCU always had a good defense. But within the last few years, we really haven't seen that offense too much. But it's been there, but now it's like it's there. So really, I want to put Shedeur Sanders up there, get them HBCUs up there because you don't see a lot of it. But if not, it'll be tied with him and Max Duggan. But number 4 will be Chase Brown, fighting Illini on there from Illinois with 1,000 rushing yards.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Shot of Sports. I'm going to have DC close us out.
All right, thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Shot of Sports. We're here with me, Jalen Billy. Donovan couldn't make it today, but we're going to give him a shout out to Donovan and Wilson too. So don't forget about him. Y'all hit him up as well too. Hey, just tune in. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all like. Don't forget to send us some questions. Send us anything that you want to hear us talk about. It's more also too. I know one thing. I got some plans to talk about with you guys. Just some little things to bring up. So be looking up for some new upcoming episodes and videos, and also snippets. So we'll be coming out with those here shortly and getting everything with. Hopefully we can get our first very special guest here soon. I've been talking to a few people on my side. I can give you a few names. I've been Jaquan Buckley, UFC fighter. I've been talking to him. I've been talking to Cameron Brown, defensive back from Ohio State. Let's go, Ohio State. Let's go, Buckeye. You know what I'm saying? And I also been talking to my boy. His name is Duke Skywalker. I don't know if y'all know him. He's a basketball player. He plays for the Ball is Life team and travels around. I've been getting in contact with him and talking with him. So, I mean, got a couple candidates that I've been talking to have our first very special guest. So I'm trying to figure out times, and I'll talk to y'all about that as well, too. But thank y'all for joining us with another Shot at Sports. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video.
Please comment. Please let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you think about the NBA's with the Lakers and their shooting abilities. And let me know what you're thinking about who your college football picks are for this weekend. or just let us know about anything that you have with anything of sports related. I mean, if you got some news that we missed, hey, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it.
Super Bowl contenders that you want to see play against each other. You know what I'm saying? Who you think could be in the NBA Finals this year? You know what I'm saying? Who do you expect to be in the NCAA football championship? So it's like, what do y'all got for the top teams coming up for basketball season and everything like that? You know,
sure. College basketball starts in about a couple weeks from now, not too far.
Yeah, and NAIA already starting their season within the next week, a week and a half. So be expecting some of these NAIA teams. I feel like you're going to be some top teams that we're going to see for March Madness and see a lot of upsets there. You know, so
exactly. So just let us know what you got. We listen to all feedback, critical or, you know, helpful, or even just saying hi that you watched or you liked the episodes. So we appreciate all critical or all comments. That's going to do it for Shot of Sports this week. Hope everyone has a good weekend. We will see you back on here on Monday.
all right, see you.
We can see the stars, show me just who you are, show me just who you